Hey Geek, so today I'm going to be showing you a feature in OBS that you might not know existed, but it could be really useful. And that feature is image slideshow. So as you can see here in this preview, here is an image slideshow. So let me show you how this looks like full screen. So we'll go ahead and move over here. So there is an image slideshow. And this is a feature that could be really useful, especially if you're doing some presentation style or teaching videos. So let's see how we could do this in OBS. All right, to set up a slideshow, it is pretty simple. And so the first thing you want to do is set up a scene. So I already have a slideshow scene, so I'll create a new one. And I'm just going to name this slide test. And then once you have that, you want to go ahead and add your sources. So in this case, when you add a source, you see an option here called image slideshow. Choose that. And I'm just going to name this slideshow 2 because I already have one that's existing. Say OK. And here you see some behavior properties. So these are some of the defaults, and I'll go through all of this as we are looking at the slides. But the most important thing is you need to choose where your images are. Okay, so you go to the plus sign, and you have two ways you could do it. You could add the files individually or add a directory. And so for me, I already have all my images in a directory. So I'll go ahead and add the directory. And you could do it that way. And if you did decide to add files, you could go here and then you could choose the files that you want. Okay, so either way will work, but if you already have a folder with all your images, I think that's the easiest way to do it. And if you notice, the image doesn't fill my entire screen because my screen resolution is 2K and these images don't fill the screen. So you can use the transform feature. So here we go ahead and right click and go to transform, and then I could do fit to screen or stretch the screen. So I'll first do fit to screen, and now it fits my screen. But some images, it won't fill the entire resolution. Even if I do transform stretch to screen, it doesn't work. Okay, now you can manually, just adjust this if you wanted to. But the thing is, it doesn't quite work well for all the images. In some images, it might crop, and in some of them, it might not still fill the screen. And so that's one thing that I want to note. So as you can see there. So at least for me, if you did want to, have this uniform and have it fill the entire screen, just make sure your resolution works the same for all your images. Okay, so I'll go ahead and reset this, and then I'll go ahead and go back to fit to screen. So I just wanted to show you that. So now that you've seen that, let's go ahead and look at how this works. So the very first option here on the top left is the visibility behavior. So here, this will always play even when a scene is not visible. What does that mean? So that means if you were to go to another scene, the slideshow would still be playing, as you can see here. Okay, that is the default. But you could also set it to other things, like you could stop when visible, restart when visible. So basically, if you chose that and then you went to another scene, right? And then you go back to the slideshow scene, it'll start all over from the beginning. But you also have another option. You could choose pause when not visible, unpause when visible. So what that means is once a slideshow starts, and say, for example, you move to another scene, like so, it'll go ahead and pause at that part of the slideshow. And then when you go back to the scene, it continues going. So I like that one better. And then in terms of slide mode, this is set to automatic, or you can use manual. Okay, so manual I think is a lot easier. You could also set hotkeys for that. So whenever you do it like this, you could manually change it. Okay, so I think this really helps when you want to do some type of presentation or teaching video where you can control which slide that you're talking about, and then when it moves over to the next slide. So we'll go back to automatic. So the transition right now is actually set to fade, which I like, but there's also other options. Here is cut, and it'll cut from one image to another. The next one is swipe, so it just swipes. And then we have slide. So those are the main transition options. I myself, I like the fade, which is the default, but you can also set different times between the slides as well. There's time between slides and transition speeds, and it's in milliseconds. And then there's also a feature where you could loop it, which is the default. Once it plays, it keeps on playing. But you could also set it to where it hide when the slideshow is done. So once the slideshow is done, it basically stops. And then finally, you could actually randomize playback as well. And then if you wanted to, you could also change the aspect ratio. The default is 1920 by 1080, but you can use a larger one. So I have a screen resolution here. So that's 2K right there. And those are like the main options for this. And as you can see there, it kind of messed up whenever I change things. So let's go back here. And I'll have to go back and change these settings. But yeah, so that is how you would set up these automatic slideshows. And at least for me, I think this is a really, really cool feature that I think is very useful, especially if you're somebody who likes to do these type of teaching videos. And you could do other things as well. For example, if I wanted to add another source, like maybe a video source, I could do that as well. So we'll go ahead and add that. Oh, okay. So the problem was I already have two different instances of OBS open. So if I go here to my slideshow, this one, I have my webcam right there. And let me show you how that looks like full screen. And yeah, you could probably see it right now where you could do these type of videos. And then obviously, as I stated earlier, you could change this to manual to where you could control how the slideshows are operating. So I'm going to do that now, manual. So this is where it's really useful for these type of teaching videos. So I'm talking about this slide, then I want to go to the next slide, and you get the idea. And I think this will really be helpful for teachers, to do these type of videos. So if you actually had any thoughts on this feature or any other features that you like in OBS, be sure to leave in the comments area below. And if you did want to see more of my OBS tutorials, tips, and tricks, I do have an entire playlist. I'll leave that in the description area below. Hey geeks, if you are a brand new creator and you simply want something easy to get you started, well, I got something for you with my Creator Starter Kit. This is a super simple step-by-step guide that's going to take you from having no channel to developing your very first YouTube channel, along with ideas, thumbnail designs, and other creator tips, including marketing. And the best part is, all of this is free. Simply head over to the link below, check out my page, and get started creating.